Hi, in this chapter, we're going to create a production build for Android and submit it to the Google Play Store. We'll also explore how to automate the creation and release of new app versions. Ready? Let's get started. We're going to be following our doc on creating a production build for Android, as you can see here. And we are going to need a couple things. First of all, you need to have a Google Play developer account. You actually have to pay $25 to get one of these accounts, but if you already have one, you should be good. Then we also need to create a Google Service account key so that we can automate the app submission process using EAS Submit. Finally, we also need a production build profile. So as you can see here on the left, I already have my Google Play developer account. And if we go to the project that we are working on, you can see that we also have the production profile that they are requiring us here. So let's start by kicking off a new production build for Android. And to do that, we can simply copy this command, go to our project, and let's paste this in here. So I'm triggering a build for Android, and I'm not specifying the profile, which is going to default to production. So let's go ahead and hit enter. Okay, so this is uploading my project to EAS build, and now the build is in progress. So while this is building, let's go back to the guide. The second thing that we need to do is create an app for Google Play Console. So let's go to my console, and this is how it looks. As you can see, I have two apps. Both of these are drafts. We can create a new app by pressing this button, and my app name is going to be Split Ease. Then we can select the language. This is an app, and this is free. And we need to confirm that the app meets the developer policies and accept these laws. So let's go ahead and create the app. Okay, so I have a new app. And if we scroll down, you're gonna see all the tasks that we need to finish before we can actually submit these to production. So for a real application, I would encourage you to set the privacy policy, app access, and then answer all these questions and forms. Having all these values set up is going to be crucial so that we can use EAS Submit in the future releases. So let's go ahead and create a new release. First of all, I will select some testers. And because I already create a tester, which is me with my Android device, I'll just go ahead and select myself as the unique tester. But if you want, you can create a link and then share that with developers. All right, so I'll save and then create a new release. We actually need to do this manually the first time, and then we can automate this using EAS Submit. I would recommend that you do this manually at least until the point that you are ready to submit this to production review. And after that, use EAS Submit to automate the submissions. So from here, let's click on Change Signing Key, then Change App Signing Key, and make sure that you have the recommended options selected here, which basically is just letting Google manage and protect your app signing key. So let's go ahead and press save. After that, I'm going to add a release name. I'll call it my first release. This name is going to be internal, so we don't need to worry about the name. And then you can specify some release notes if you want to. Okay, so my build is ready, my production build, and I can go and see the details in expo.dev. You can see that I'm inside my Split Ease project, and this is the build that we created for production. As you notice, the version code is 11 because in the previous chapter we set it to start at 10, so this auto increased. The profile is production. We can see the SDK and the app version, which is 1.0.0 at the time. And from here, we can just go ahead and download this build. Notice as well that this file is a AAB file, which is optimized for production Android builds. Now let's go back to the internal testing page, and from here I will upload. And in my downloads, I have this new AAB. So let's go ahead and open this. And here we go. After a moment, the app bundle appears here, and you can see more information about the target SDK and things like that. So let's go ahead and hit next. Okay, so from here you can just confirm that everything looks good and press save and publish. Save and publish. This is going to publish the app for internal testing, and that's it. So from here you can press on manage release to go back and see the information about the build and bundle. And you can always come here to the internal testing page and you're going to find the releases that you create. So in this case, this is my first release. Also, if you need to add more testers, just go ahead and add them. Now let's see how this is going to look once I open and install this app on my real device. So I'm going to copy the link and send it to my Android device. Okay, so back to our guide, and now we are ready to open this link in my device. So as you can see, I sent myself this link. So I opened this one, and this is going to take me to the Google Play page where I can accept the invite to test Split EAS. So let's go ahead and accept this. And just like that, we get this message that says, welcome to the internal test program. And if I scroll down, you can see that we have also a button to leave the program. But from here, the option 2 is to install the public version in Google Play. So let's go ahead and press that. This is going to take me to this Google Play page where I can actually open or uninstall this app. So because I tested this before and I installed the application directly from my computer, I'll just uninstall it and then install again. Okay, and now I can open the app. And ta-da! So this is a production build installed on my real device. So once you are sure that you want to ship this application to production, you're gonna need to finish setting up the information and filling out forms and setting privacy and declarations about your application in the Play Store. So if you go to the Play Store and the dashboard, you're going to find all the tasks that you need to complete before you can submit to production. So after you completed setting the information of your application and the privacy and the name and all these things that you need to do in here, let's work on automating the submission process of our app. So here on the step 6, as you can see, from now on, we can use EAS submit to automate the release and avoid the manual process of coming here, downloading the application, drag and drop, creating a new release. That's a lot of work, and we can automate it by using EAS submit. So first of all, we need to create a Google Service account. So let's go ahead and follow this guide on creating a Google Service account. So creating a Google Service account, it's going to basically allows us to provide permissions to Expo or EAS submit to handle submissions in our behalf in Play Store. So as an overview of what we need to do, first of all, we need to create a Google Cloud project. This is optional. If you already have a project that you want to reutilize, you can do so. Then we need to create a Google Service account and download the JSON key file. Then we need to enable the Google Play Android Developer API and invite the Google Service account to our Google Play Console account. This is going to provide the necessary permissions to automate the submission. So let's go ahead and create a new project in Google Cloud. I'll come here and select new project. I'll call this one Split EAS, then select the organization and create. So creating a project is going to take a couple seconds. Once the project is done, we can click on select project. You can confirm that you are inside this project by viewing this, by viewing the name in here. Now let's create a Google Service account. To do that, let's open the menu on the left and hover over I am an admin option here. And then you'll find service accounts. So let's click here. As you can see, I don't have any service account for this project. So let's click on create a new service account. So I'll call this one service account for Split EAS, which is my app. You can add a description in here. So I'll just paste the same and create and continue. Then I'll press continue again and finally done. Once we have the service account here, we can press on actions and then manage keys. Let's press on add new key and then create new key. Select JSON for creating the key and click create. And if this is the first time that you are doing this, you might encounter this service account creation is disabled. So by default, Google disables this option for security reasons. So we need to enable the service account key creation. Let's go ahead and close this for now and cancel. From here, let's go ahead and click on the Split EAS project, and then on the right, I'm going to click on the 3 dots on the top right and select I am permissions. So as you notice, this took me to the organization level. And from here, I can select grant access. So I'll enter my email and then search for organization policy administrator. So at this point, I'm going to press cancel since I already have a principal with my email. And then I already provide the organization administrator, organization policy administrator. But once you click save, this is going to just add a new record here. This is giving me permissions to change those things, right? So you can enable this for the entire organization or for a specific project. To do that for a specific project, we can click here on the organization button and I'll select Split EAS. Once I have selected my project, I'm going to select the organization policies. And in here, I'm going to search for key creation. And as you can see, I can see now disable service account key creation. Let's click on that. And in here, we have these two results. The first one is a managed one, and the second one is the one that we can modify. So I'll select these actions and then edit policy, then overwrite. From here, I will select add a rule, set it to off, and then done, and then set policy. And that's it. Now we can go back to the service accounts and again, press on these three dots, manage keys. Let's click on add a key, create new key, select JSON and create. Okay, so as you can see, this works now. And if it doesn't work right away for you, just wait a couple minutes and it should work. So as you can see, the service JSON file was downloaded to my computer, so I can now close this. Once we have this file, we can enable the Google Playstore API. To do that, we can simply search for Google Play API, and it's going to be the first result. Let's enable this API. Once you enable the Google Play Android Developer API, we can now go to the Google Play console for my application. I'm going to press on the Google Play console icon. This is going to bring me to the main screen. And from here, let's click on users and permissions. Click on invite new user. And for the email address, we need to use the service account email. So let's go back to I am and then service accounts. And as you notice, we have an email here. So this is the email that we need to invite. So let's click on the copy icon. Let's go back and paste this email in here. You can set an access expire date, but I wouldn't recommend that. Otherwise, you're going to need to reset this in the future. And now we need to add some permissions so that EAS build is able to submit applications for us. So let's add an app. In this case, I want to provide permissions for Split EAS. I would recommend to do it for all of your applications. So I'll just go ahead and select all of them. But if you want to select just one, you're more than welcome to do so. So this also is great because we need to do this just once and it's going to work for all of our applications. Now I'm going to click on apply. So you can provide all permissions if you feel comfortable, but if you don't feel comfortable, you can only select the required ones, which is going to be view app information. We're going to need permissions as well for edit and delete draft apps, release to production, release app to testing, and manage testing tracks and edit tester list. And that's it. Let's go ahead and click on apply. And finally, once we have provided permissions, let's click on invite user and send invite. Cool. So at this point, you should be able to see only two, but in this case, I have three because I did this twice, once for this video and once for my apps. All right, so now we are good to continue with the step 6, which is adding the Google Service Account Permission Key to EAS. So what I'll do is I'll copy this submit section that we need to add to our EAS file back to my project. I'm going to hide the terminal for now. And as you can see, we have this submit section. I'm going to extend this by providing my service account key path. Also notice that we are setting the track to internal, which at the end of the day will enable the EAS submit command to upload our production build and release it to the internal testing on the Google Play Store. If I keep scrolling down, you can see here that we can set this to production as well. And you should do this once you are ready to release your app to production. And also you can create a new profile, for example, internal, and then set this to internal. And in here, you can leave this forever to production. But for now, let's just leave it as internal and hit save. So as you notice on the right, I have my Finder. And in my downloads, I have my service account for Split EAS. So this file is actually very sensitive and you should be careful with this. So I'll drag it. So I have it in here and I'm going to, just show a little bit on the right. And then I will change the name. And in this case, I will set service account Split EAS, and then I can just copy this and save it and then close it. Okay, and now we are good to close my Finder. And in here, I need to set the path. So the path is going to be just the name of my file since it's in my root folder. Now, of course, we don't want to be sending these to GitHub, so let's go ahead and ignore this. Just by adding the name to the git ignore, this will be ignored. Now, when I trigger the build, if I'm ignoring this file, EAS is going to ignore this file as well, and it's going to break, right? Because it's not going to find this file. So a solution for this is just actually duplicate the git ignore, and for the copy, I will rename it to be EAS ignore and hit enter. So EAS ignore is going to overwrite the git ignore. And the cool thing about this is that we can, in this case, allow to submit the service account split EAS. So if I delete that, it means that for EAS submissions, I'm going to be sending this file, which means EAS is going to have context of this file and it's going to work. But when I push my code, this file is going to be ignored, right? You can also learn more about how EAS ignore works. I'm going to leave a link for the documentation in the description. So let's close this now. Cool, so at this point, we have set the service account correctly and we added to the git ignore to prevent leaking information. And now we're ready to automate submissions to the Play Store. Now, if I go ahead and submit, and let me pass the platform to be Android only, this is actually going to fail. And the reason for that is because if I go to my application, so let me go to my home here and select split EAS. This is going to fail because I haven't set any information to regarding my application, like the privacy policy that is required and the app access, ads, and all that. So if I don't set this information, the submission is going to fail. But luckily for you, I did that work in other app, and my app is called Shopping List Sync and Share. And I have set all the information required. So as you can see, I don't have any pending steps, only having the production access, but that is not required for submitting automatically. So to test submitting to the App Store, I'm going to be using this project. Let me open that in VS Code. So here I am in my groceries shopping list app, and I have the exact same configuration as you can see here. The track is internal, and I'm setting my Play Store service account file that is in here as well. And once I trigger a build with the EAS build platform Android auto submit, this is going to create a new build, as you can see here, which is increasing the version code from 9 to 10 in this case, because I'm already using the remote version code. And then we have more information. But if I keep scrolling down, you're going to notice that we are able to see the Google service account key and the information. So everything is being recognized successfully by EAS. We also get the build details that is going to take us to the project on expo.dev. And then finally, we also have the submission details. So this submission has been complete, and I actually created this submission yesterday. And I can also download the artifact and check the submission details. So let's go ahead and click here and let's open this. So as you can see, I'm inside my groceries shopping list project, and I can see my submissions, which basically is just spinning a worker that is submitting using my credentials to the Play Store. So let's see how this looks. So back in the Play Store, I'm going to go to the testing and then internal testing. This is where you're going to find your submission through EAS submit. And I can, for example, show the summary, and you can see that the version code is 10, which is the one that we can see here in the console, right? And then from here, you can just simply promote this build. In this case, I don't have access to open testing or production, but I can promote this to my closed testing and alpha testing. So in this case, you would select production or open testing if you want to. And we made it. That's it for submitting an Android build to production. We learned how to create a service account in Google Cloud. We also learned how to enable the Google Play API. We also learned how to invite testers and even accept the invitation from a real device and install the production build as a tester. We created a Google Service Account key. We also provide permissions so that we can export our JSON file key. This was a long chapter, but thankfully we only have to do this once. And once we have these things set up, we can automate submissions, and this is going to save us time in the long run. I hope you like this chapter. I hope you learned something new, and I'll see you in the next one.